Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And this week we've got a liar behind us. And
Coming in
hot. Put it out there, and the facts are right here. This is a 2020, well, let's make sure I'm getting this right, it's not a 4. It is, yeah, it's a 25 Tacoma. We are in the new year, Craig. And here's the deal. This is the Trailhunter. And before we get too clickbaity, I do like the Trailhunter trim, and we're going to get into all that. There's a lot of good going on here. But there's a couple of stats I don't believe. One, Craig, is the 24 miles a gallon on the highway. Did you experience that?
Negative.
We'll talk about that more in the drive session. And then this is also the hybrid powertrain, 2.4 liter with the hybrid. Is good for 465 pounds of torque in a laboratory, not in our testing. So all that being covered, let's get into what it is. This is the bronze oxide, and yes, it's about $64,944. The only options are mud guards, bed mat, some tie down kits, tailgate black inserts, spare tire lock, and then there is a trailer hitch as well, a slip-in receiver. So it comes up to quite a bit. But the beauty of the Trailhunter is you get kind of everything. I do like that. So it's not like you're nickeling and diming everything together. It comes with skid plates. It comes with better wheels and tires, suspension. It comes with a really cool bronze oxide paint, and of course, the snorkel baby. But this is basically the sound of a tuner car cold water intake. It's like flutter valve off the turbo and everything else. Sounds awesome. Big fan of this. Now, this is not actually a Ford-rated Land Rover style snorkel that's meant to go into water this deep. It's not. It's called a high air intake, and the point is it's grabbing less dust off of maybe vehicles in front of you on a trail ride. Kind of gimmicky, big fan.
We have some friends at local dealers, and they tell us that with older clientele have this, and they keep bringing it in the dealer because they say that it's making a weird noise.
Yeah, and it is, by the way, and we'll get to that in a minute when we drive it. When the windows are up, it sounds kind of like, what's that? And then you crack this window and you go, oh, Fast and Furious is under my hood. That's what's happening. I think it's a big positive overall, and there actually is, from what I can tell, no wind noise added from this. That's a big deal because most of them do add wind noise, so good job Toyota on doing all the things that need to happen there. Let's not skip the nose of this thing. This is a very handsome truck, and I think this and the ZR2 Colorado are trading punches for the best looking midsize truck. And we own a Ranger, we've owned Tacomas. I still think this with some aftermarket overlanding things, really hard to beat. I mean, really genuinely hard to beat. So you've got the good nose here. Because you have the Trailhunter, you have bronze letters on the dimensional total letters, the big blocky ones. Right here is a LED light bar that comes on when the high beams activate. And yes, it has auto high beams because that's standard on Tacoma.
Also kind of, shakes a little bit when you're driving down the road.
Well, yeah, that's because this is all plastic. That's
so
there
is that.
Yeah, there's that, and it hasn't changed from our last truck. You do have rigid switchback LED pods right here. They're the same size as the non-rigid branded ones, but these toggle between amber and the LED color. That's kind of fun to get from the factory. I like that.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Big fan
it's awesome.
Of that. Yeah, and Toyota did a good job of reaching out to the aftermarket while making this truck. It's not an afterthought, it's integrated. I like that. Because it's a Toyota, you also get the standard Safety Sense 3.0 system.
Oh, that's a win.
Dude,
gosh.
You know what sucks about our Ranger?
Not
no radar cruise control. For some reason we have a lane departure warning, but it doesn't actually hold it in the lane. It's really annoying. Just turn it all off. This one actually works. I actually do like it. Radar sensors, plastic, 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 plastic. That right there.
And it says Trailhunter.
It says Trailhunter. That is specific to the Trailhunter, and the whole point of this trim is to be more overland focused, out of the box, and they delivered. It's there. Coming down the wheel and tire, Craig, and here's another beef I have with this. These wheels look great. Craig has refinished them in earth, and I think it looks pretty cool. The problem is you have to get the hybrid powertrain on this truck, which means you have to have 18s because the brakes are a little bit bigger than the other non-hybrid trucks. That's kind of a letdown, but also 18s are the new 17s, right. So there's options out there. It's not that big of a deal. I just kind of prefer a 17 for really airing down. The reality is the owner of this truck is not doing that kind of rock crawling, so it's not a problem. Looking in here, Craig, we do have Trailhunter specific suspension. This is a forged upper control arm. You have old man emu suspension down there. Man, it's kind of nice to have a turnkey kit from the factory. You don't have an overland focused trim like this. I do like that Toyota's taking it seriously. They know their market. Coming down the side, of course, they let you know what you have. I-Force with the max. More of the line right there. You do have folding mirrors, and you have, oh, what's this, Craig?
Rock grill, a proper one.
Yes. So when we bought our Tacoma, it had a dealer-installed awful step that got in the way of
I call it Gulf State garbage.
Yeah, that's what we call it. But this is actually really good. I like these a lot. Let's come check them out. They're real sliders. They're not meant to be steps at all. Let's take a peek. Oh, yeah, look at that, Craig. They are frame mounted. This thing can be lifted by a forklift right here, and the cab and the body is not touched at all. That's how strong these things are from the factory. Good job, Toyota. That's really, really nice. Coming down the back, you get the ARB bed hoop, which is, as far as I can tell, completely unnecessary because it gives you this much of molly panel. I'm just being pragmatic. It looks cool, which
Yeah,
is the
it does
real
look
point.
cool. It does look cool.
It looks freaking awesome. Marty McFly's truck is here. That's what this is. This thing in black with some KC lights, I'm in. Pragmatically, this just makes it worse as a truck. You can't do as much utility stuff. I prefer a full bed rack like Cali Ray's would offer or some other companies.
Thick, I mean, it's good.
I just don't need that little of a molly panel, that's all.
No, I'm with you.
But it's cool to have it. Something I really do love, and I gotta drop in a nighttime video, this right here, these are called scene lights. And this is something I really want to commend Toyota on. We do overland, we do camp at night, we do deal with this stuff, and we have overlanded with aftermarket scene lights that just blind you in the face, like roof mounted ones. These are perfect because they're under your eye level, and we've talked to Toyota about it. It's actually engineered to go out and spread, not a big spot or a flood in your eye. It's meant to aim down. So basically imagine a 15-foot perimeter around the back of the truck is just lit at night. That's really helpful when you're trying to cook at night or, you know, put the fire out, get back into your tent, whatever you're doing. That's nice, really well thought out. The badge that you're paying for, that's what the 65K is for. The Trailhunter badge tied in with the ARB tow hooks on either side. Dude, those are awesome. And the rear bumper is, you hear that?
Yes.
That's steel, unlike the front. I'm not sure why they don't give you a steel one. I'm sure it's a crash standard situation. I don't want to be too critical about that. I really wish there was an option from like this on the front. With our old truck, this was all plastic on the side. And I felt like we had soft corners and underbellies on our Tacoma. This doesn't have that problem out back. It's got a metal wraparound. You're just covered.
It's got your rear covered.
Before we hop up there to show you the exhaust sound, I want to point out that you still have the high lift jack rack here or mount here that all the Tacomas get. Although I don't use farm jacks very often, it's nice to have the option if you're doing some serious off-roading. They just have it integrated in. More importantly, where's the exhaust tip, Craig?
Well, it's not on the left or the right back here.
Exactly, and just like our old Tacoma got pancaked a little bit off-roading, this one won't ever do that because it dumps back by the axle. We'll show you that now. Okay, inside that sounded a lot like a Tundra. What about out here, Craig?
Does it sound like a weak 4x?
Had high hopes. Let's check that thing out under the hood. Let's pop up what Toyota considers to be the cream of the crop for mid-size powertrains, and that does not have a prop rod. That's okay, they got cute with it, and they gave you a low one and a little bit less low one. What you do have that's different here, Craig, is you have the Trailhunter badge on the intake, and underneath here,
Ooh, that's gonna help.
I mean, that's parking lot points. Let's just go and look. I think it has a conical filter. Oh, yep, it does. Okay.
Look at this.
Okay, so you have a TRD, kind of a wet style, K&N style drop-in filter. From the factory, it's conical. You don't hear a bunch of noise out of it, except you do up here in the snorkel. That's kind of cool from the factory. You get that. I like that. This thing has an alleged 326 horsepower and 465 foot-pounds of torque.
What?
That's a big number.
Out of this?
Out of this, well, but also out of this. So this is the first time you've heard of this powertrain. I'm going to explain to you how this hybrid works. It is not in the axle hubs like a Prius or something like that. Here's how an engine works. You've got a flywheel doing this.
Good.
You have a transmission doing this as well. In the middle is an electric, basically pancake-sized motor that's your hybrid powertrain. And they all work together and they do some harmony. The point being is when you stack the 2.4 liter turbo and its base power and you add the hybrid, that's how you get that number they're alleging. What I'm here to tell you is in our testing, and we're going to show you the 0-60 in a minute, we are never, ever, ever feeling 465 pounds of torque. And I've been calibrating my butt dyno for about 30 years. So I'm just telling you, it's not doing it. Now, in a lab, I believe that number. Realistically, what's happening with modern torque management, we're just not seeing that in the real world. And I find that kind of frustrating if you're going to advertise that and not give you that sensation, because we've driven things with similar power that rip, and this is not doing that. So all that covered, let's just hop in the interior with Craig and see what's up.
Maybe OTT will fix that.
Oh, OTT tunes are on it, for sure.
Time to check out the interior of the 25 Trailhunter Tacoma. Oh, these gloves are heavy. How do I open it? I just hit the button on either side, Brian, and look at that.
I've got one too, right here.
Yeah, what's happened is, since we've had it, I forgot, because our Tacoma did not have that, and our Ranger does not have that, and I keep ripping it down.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, power, which is really nice.
We've never been that fortunate, Craig, to afford a power tailgate.
Because you can also hit the button again, and it goes right back up. That's really nice. More trucks are starting to do that now. Yeah. Good to see that in the mid-size platforms. That's actually really nice. Let's get into the bed and actually talk about what's actually in here. Brian, I like this little Tacoma mat that comes back here. It's one of the accessories we got.
Yeah.
And Brian, really cool right here. It says compressors embossed, really neat. We've got an actual compressor we can plug in, and we can actually air down, get off the trail, time to air up. Not a problem. On board from the factory, in your warranty and in your finance payment plan. Pretty cool. Right over here, this is the next cool little trick. 2.4 kilowatts of juice. You can actually plug something in, like maybe a coffee pot or something like that, or a grinder. This is the benefit of the hybrid.
Okay, I do like that. That's nice.
That is really nice. So if you did forget your jackery or your whatever, you can just use that and you're in business. Now, you do have to keep the truck running for that to work. We've learned that. It won't do like the Ford Pro Power where you can actually leave it off and it just comes on and cycles when it needs to. No, it needs to be running to do that. A little annoying, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And Brian, here's your bed rack thing and stuff, but wait, what? Oh wait, what is this, Brian?
That's right.
Oh, check this out.
All right, hold on, wait a minute. We gotta let people know. This episode is brought to you by Lasfit Liners, and they sent us a set for this truck to test out.
It's like they knew we were gonna film today.
Absolutely, open this thing.
Let's open this bad boy up and see what happens.
Okay, let's lay it out where the sun can see it. This appears to be the passenger front, a truck right here, so you know you have a pickup truck. That's nice. Passenger side right here. And you're gonna see in a minute, Craig, how much these things cover. Kind of impressive. Now in the back, it's kind of smaller because we have the hybrid, but you still have place for your feet. It goes to the back and it says Liners right here. But I want to show you something real quick that it doesn't do that Lasfit does do. I'm going to drop this in the same spot and look at how much more coverage we have out of the Lasfit. It actually goes up this side, so when you have muddy boots, you're not getting the transmission tunnel carpet destroyed.
Yeah, Brian, the back's kind of the same story. Really cool design in the factory. You got this little grid here. I guess that's the spot where you drop the bomb, maybe. I don't know. Cool. But you can see it doesn't cover anything. Look at this. This is all it covers. It doesn't cover the back of the carpet where it goes back up to that battery, the hybrid battery.
That's the lip I'm talking about.
And then the actual transmission tunnel gets covered as well.
You have coverage that goes over the step well of the kick plate, so the carpet's completely protected. It butts up to the seat beautifully right here, and it goes under where your toes will go into the seat. Then you go to the mid-hump brake, and it's covered there, all the way to the back. There's no way that mud is going to destroy the carpet back there.
That's pretty nice. Let's check out the front.
All right, coming to the passenger front, we drop it in here to get some coverage, and it actually uses the same lock-ins that the factory ones do. Push it back, it drops in just like that. Look over here, this lip goes all the way up into the carpet under the seat. We've got the seat all the way back now for the purpose of putting this in here, but look how much it covers over. Hey, I just think this might be the best liner on the market for liners. That's my take.
Yeah, so where should people go to get those?
Oh, the link below, obviously. Now, back to our review.
All right, Brian, let's check out the rear seat room of the Tacoma. But before we do that, let's check out the door sill. Not padded. You'd think $65,000 would get you padded in there, but that's fine. The armrest itself is padded with a nice door pull. You can put your phone in. And Toyota looks, got the door card figured out. 3 spots for water bottles. That's really nice. Plenty of cubby holes. Really good thing. Brian, let's check out under the seat for storage.
You can't.
What?
It's a battery. That's the hybrid part.
Oh.
This is now an inch taller than it would have been otherwise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's get in and let's check it out. Let's see what kind of room we have. I'm sitting behind myself, Ryan. I'm 5'9", and I got the seat down because I don't like it very tall. I don't have room for my feet, so I'm gonna have to raise the seat.
Okay.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Knee-wise, you're actually.
But it's not terrible. I'm touching, but it's not terrible. I mean, I can do that, and then I don't touch. It's fine. I don't have an armrest, but that's okay. But Brian, I do have this. Look at this. I do have cup holders. I do like that. That's actually
awesome.
Really nice because a lot of times you're up front, you need one back here. 2,400 watts back here as well. So if you want to charge something inside the cab, that's actually pretty cool. And then two USB-C outlets, mat pocket on that side. Brian, we do get some storage back there that just does fold flat. Pretty cool. Let's see if you fit.
Nope, not gonna do it.
Okay, Brian doesn't fit. Let's move to the front.
Yeah, not gonna do it.
All right, Brian, let's check out the front. You get a nice padded armrest up here, or door sill, which is nice. Door pull itself is padded as well. I like the stitching in this color. That color's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a green. It's like
a weird aqua green mist blue. I don't know. I
like it.
It's cool. And then I like the marble light Trailhunter thing on the actual. That's pretty cool. We get that in the dash as well. We get the Molly panels like we do in all the Tacomas. We get a mid-level and a bottom level. Plenty of cubbies. That's all really good. Let's get in and check out the interior. Brian, this is where the Tacoma excels. We've seen all our other reviews. Nothing's changed here.
Yep.
This works. The only thing that doesn't work is maybe sometimes your knee will hit this if you're kind of cruise control.
Yeah, fair.
But it's just a minor quibble.
Minor quibble.
Because
not even worth mentioning.
Everything else works great. You got the wireless Qi charge in here, which works. You put it in. A wireless Android seems to work pretty good as well, which that's really nice. And you got room for another phone. Plenty of cubbies. Plenty of water bottle things.
What's the Highlander pocket?
The Highlander pocket is really nice.
USB-C.
And USB-C back there. Look, our Ranger has this as well, but it's a little bit smaller. It doesn't work as well. This actually holds
a little better. This is nice.
A little bit better. I like the Toyota blocking. I think that's really cool. And the padding on the glove box.
This looks super cool.
It's cool in here.
Nice.
This is a massive screen. Look, we're getting older, Brian. We need the things to be larger font. It's plenty big on there. Let's turn it up and show them. Okay. Pretty typical here. One of the things I do like that Tacoma does is they're standardizing their gauges in all their platforms, and they kind of just work. You get all kinds of info. You get basically 3 different settings. So this is screen 1 right here, where I've got trip and fuel mileage. And you can change whether you want 2 dials or just 1 dial. I've got 1 dial. This is we want to see the turbo and the hybrid battery, what's happening there. We're actually doing some 0 to 60 stuff. And then you can set up the third one for something else if you wanted to do that. Maybe a max gauge cluster, who knows. Yep. You get over here, you get wireless CarPlay. Like, it's just massive, and it just works. This is really nice. Or you can just go to the native app really easy with this right here and check out fuel mileage, things like that. Or go right back to CarPlay. And then they smart like Ford does. Hit this button here, you get complete full screen in case you can't see anything. One of the benefits too, Brian, of getting the bigger screen is you get the bigger volume knob. The smaller screens keep a little small one right here. This one gives you a nice big one, which is easier to use. I like that a lot.
It's a lot nicer feeling, yeah.
And then you get, Ryan.
Oh, baby, let's
go. You get both. You get heated and chillers. That's really nice. This steering wheel heater works well. It is kind of cold right now. It's a little cold outside. We're not used to it. Texans are a little weak when it comes to cold. Yeah. This is a nice steering wheel heater. It works everywhere. It works down here, works in the middle.
The JBL stereo absolutely bumps. I think it's my favorite stereo on the market right now for a reasonable, well, 65,000 is a lot, but for a non like crazy luxury car, it hits really well. Highs and lows are good, and of course, when you go to lunch, you can bring this with you.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool too. There he is, and it works really well. I like that a lot.
Last but not least, Brian, before we do a 0 to 60 run, which we all want to know, because how much torque?
465.
Okay, well, let's see right here, Brian. This is the piece de resistance. Yep. You get nothing there for who knows, a Cali raised disc light. Yep. Disconnecting stabilizer bar. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, pumped on that.
And then, Brian, we also get rear locker. Thank you very much. And then I like this a lot because you can actually hit that button and toggle the view for any. You just when you're bored, you're waiting for something. Your wife to be done shopping. The camera system's
really good.
Really good cameras here. Yeah. Yeah. And then of course trailer backup control, which is
Yep.
0 to 60 run.
Let's go. All right, Mr. Rupp, are you ready?
Oh, I am ready, and it says go time on here. And Brian, 465 pound-feet of torque. Oh, okay. Air quote. Hit it.
I've got it in sport mode and two-wheel drive because in off-camera testing, that was the best result I had.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a, I'm just going to mat it. That's actually the best number we have is just matted it. Ready?
Do it. Hit
3, 2, 1, go. Hybrid engages right away. Holding stronger now. Boost is peaking at 15 PSI, 51, 5, 6, 7, and 60 miles an hour. What'd you get?
0 to 60 in 7.71 with me in the car.
7.71.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to go to old numbers or just go to what you got without me?
Before we talk about horsepower, I want to go into old numbers. What does the non-hybrid TRD off-road Tacoma do 0 to 60?
7.51 is what we got. Same area, same exact test.
Okay, what is the Ranger FX4 in factory form, our truck, what does it do to 60?
6.9.
Okay, better. Okay,
no, but I was in the truck, so it was surely faster without me.
Without you in the truck, it is 7.67. And that is the best of 5 runs.
Huh.
So this is the motor that has, what does the power make on the Ranger again?
270 horsepower.
Okay.
310 pound-feet of torque.
Not bad. What about the non-hybrid Tacoma horsepower and torque?
278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque.
A little better, yet a little bit slower than the Ranger.
Yep.
Okay, but it's in the mix. It's not like wildly off. This has 326 horsepower. Okay, and 465 foot-pounds of theoretical torque.
It's not there, man.
It's not there, man. And this is why we said liar earlier. Yeah. And I find it frustrating because I feel like that is a big marketing number. And Toyota came out and said...
they talk about it a lot.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, in our testing and our results...
It's not making that.
It's not making that. At least it's not getting to the tire.
Could it make that? Maybe it potentially can make. I'm sure it can.
I do believe that. I'm not calling Toyota as an organization a liar. I think they're misrepresenting what this truck gives you.
Right.
So that's that. Get it out of the way. Let's talk about ride and drive. Our old Tacoma we thought was sprung really well for the road and a little too soft for actual overlanding use. I think this solves that.
Yes.
And the trade-off is it's a little bit choppier on the road.
It is a little bit of compromise, yes. But if you're buying this to actually do overlanding things, this is probably a perfect setup. In fact, well, we know it has more payload.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It has way more payload than our TRD off-road did.
Yep.
Even though it doesn't ride as good unladen. But
it's a choice.
But the moment you laden this with anything, with a tent or whatever on the back, this thing's going to ride perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
So.
And we've actually taken this thing off-road at the Texas Truck Rodeo for Texas Auto Riders, and it was like awesome. It's really good. How to do on dirt roads?
Dirt roads, but
Okay.
again, unladen.
Okay.
So this is the Trailhunter, not the TRD Pro. And so this is not designed for high-speed dirt runs.
Right, that's not the focus. 30 Pro is.
And I tried it. I went high-speed and I'm like, nah, there's no magic going on here.
Okay.
But it handled the dirt roads fine because this is set up for miles of driving on dirt road. It was fine at that.
So it's probably calibrated exactly as advertised.
Agreed.
Okay, all right. That's out of the way. I want to talk powertrain now. I'm going to get back to some more of my annoyances.
Yep.
All lying out of the way. The next thing that annoys me is that the fake engine noise is obnoxious.
It's not what we have.
That's not a V6 or V8. What are they doing?
I don't know
So
what this is.
that's annoying. We're not idiots.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the colder intake makes up for that.
It does. That's fun.
It helps out a lot of colder or the higher intake. And now I want to talk about the drivability in town, and then we'll compare that to your rural drive.
Yes.
I live an urban route, and I'm driving into the city.
You want to stop and go.
Exactly. Every morning this week going to work, I would leave my driveway, and I would remote start the truck for about 10 minutes because it was cold. I back out, go forward. The 1-2 shift would be like, and kind of clunk and like bump your head kind of thing. Like, that's weird. Then be fine the rest of the day. Okay. Now, the flip side of that, the other problem I had was in stop and go driving, because it's hybrid, it's now stop and starting the motor throughout urban driving. And it will barely drive on the motor on its own before the engine kicks on.
Right.
I wish it would actually go EV only mode for a little bit because I think that's adequate for like just creeping traffic. Problem is the motor kicks on and it's not a very refined powertrain.
Yeah. You notice it every time it starts.
Every time it starts, you're like, oh, it's back on again. And unlike the normal truck, you can't turn the auto start stop off because it's a hybrid. So that's just an annoyance. I wish there was a way around that.
Right.
The end result I want to get at is that this is a flagship powertrain, and the Lexus 1UZ V8 is made by the same company. It's 30 years old, and I do not believe they have anything to do with each other. There is no level of refinement between them, and I've driven one recently. It's just not there. All being said, this is a great truck. I think the ergonomics up here are winning. I think they're beating the segment. Material choices are killer, and I think most people are going to be okay with a lot of things we're having quibbles with. We're a little more hypercritical, but if you're, looking for the best in powertrain, I think this is kind of a letdown.
I agree with you. I think if Toyota could be honest, they'd tell you the same thing and they'd agree with you. Yeah, it's not the same company making the 1UZ V8 because we're not allowed to make that anymore. And they want to make that. So
yeah.
This is the world we live in. They have to do hybrids. They have to do small displacement turbos. And so they're doing their best they can to keep up with the times.
Right.
It's unfortunate. It is what it is. That said, in my more rural driving without stop and go, I found the hybrid to be refined enough.
Okay.
And I wouldn't avoid the hybrid if I was going out and buying one. I wouldn't go seek it, but I wouldn't avoid it.
Okay.
In fact, I found enough times that I was going, 60, 65 miles an hour, have a lot of hills in my drive. Going down the hills, the motor would cut off. And it would be an EV for quite a bit of distance. It was kind of surprising.
And so you're not getting that stop and go and save traffic thing. It's probably fine. Right. In every bit of highway driving I did, it was great as well. So that's a fair point.
But that said, the most I could get trying to get good mileage was 20 miles a gallon. And that's, I'll be honest, disappointing because the sticker says 22 city, 24 highway. That's disappointing.
It's not doing that. And what did our Ranger get?
Our Ranger, before we modified it, would get 24 miles a gallon.
And the best you saw, I remember you telling me one day, was 27.
Yeah, because I was
doing the same tactics you gave us.
Yep.
So it's just not there.
Yeah.
And those are two big points people buy off of. Horsepower and MPG are things that sell vehicles on paper, and it's just not being forthright about that.
Yeah,
so,
but I agree with you. I think that out of the way,
it's a great truck.
This is fun, comfortable, and it's very comfortable to drive.
Yes.
I could drive this long distances and be comfortable for miles because of the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0.
Which works very well.
The ride and drive, the touch points. This is a comfortable vehicle to drive.
And it's nice.
Yep.
All being covered, let us know what you think about the Trailhunter and Tacoma in general. Is the hybrid a problem for you? Am I nuts for even bringing it up? Or is it an annoyance for you? I'm just curious. Obviously, they're still selling these things, although...
Yeah, still number one by a mile.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they are kicking the Ranger in the teeth in terms of sales.
Yeah.
So all that being covered, thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of this, let us know. And thanks for Lasfit for sponsoring this episode. See you on the next one.
See you next time.